السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم، ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رب زدني علما. My respected elders and brothers, 2 Jummas before, we spoke about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam being the greatest favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon the entire humanity, upon the entire universe. And why do we say that He is the greatest favor of Allah? We went into detail. We spoke about 2 different types of the ni'mats of Allah, 2 different types of the favors of Allah, and then from the Quran and the Hadith we proved that how is He considered the greatest ni'mat of Allah. Now moving forward, this is the point where we ended. If He is the greatest favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this means that He has the greatest rights upon us. The more greater the relationship, the more higher the person, the more respect he deserves, the more rights he has. Our parents have one of the greatest rights upon us because they are a source of us coming in this world. Whatever me and you are today is the result of the effort of 2 entities. मैं और आप आज जो कुछ भी हैं, 2 इंसानों की मेहनत की वजह से है. What is that first entity? Our parents. What is the second entity? Our teachers. हमने जो कुछ सीखा या अपने वालिदैन से सीखा या अपने उस्तादों से सीखा. So that's why there are so many rights that nobody, no matter how much a person tries and strives and does the khidmah, he cannot fulfill the rights of his or her parents. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, He is amongst the humanity, He is the greatest, has more rights upon us than even our own parents. Allah says in the Quran, "An-Nabiyyu awla bil-mu'minina min anfusihim." More or less meaning in English that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam should be more beloved to you than even as compared to your own selves. So this means the love we have for our own selves to protect against summer and winter, to keep us healthy, more love should be for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Quran is saying this. If we deny, we will leave the circle of Islam. So now, what are the rights of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This much is understood that he is the greatest favor of Allah, and he has the most rights. But what are his rights? Some ulama say there are 3 rights, some say there are 6, but basically, by and large, 3 are the basic rights that encompass all the remaining rights also. Aap sallallahu alaihi wasallam ke mote 3 hukuk hai. What are those 3 rights? Azamat, muhabbat, ittiba'. We should revere him. The greatest, the person who deserves the most respect and reverence after Allah is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. First right. The human being after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he deserves the most love from all of us. Amongst the humanity, the person who deserves the most love from us is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as far as following the lifestyle is concerned, whom do we have to follow? Ittiba' Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah says in the Quran, "Qul," O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell the people, "In kuntum tuhibbuna Allah." If you want that Allah loves you, you become the beloved of Allah, what do you have to do? Fattabi'uni, follow me, meaning follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah is commanding Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to tell me and you that if me and you want to get near to Allah, the only way to get near to Allah is through Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we follow his lifestyle, Allah will love us. If my lifestyle is away from the lifestyle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I can never become the beloved of Allah. So once we follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what will happen? Yuhibbukumullah. Allah will start loving you. وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. Not only Allah will love us, because of following Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah will love us also, and Allah will forgive our sins also. So Quran is clear on this. Allah से कुर्बत का रास्ता एक ही है, और वो है आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की जिंदगी. आपकी मुबारक जिंदगी मेरे और आपकी जिंदगियों के अंदर होगी तो हम अल्लाह के महबूब बन सकते हैं. अगर मेरी आपकी ज़िंदगी आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की ज़िंदगी से दूर है तो चाहे हम जो कुछ भी कर लें हम अल्लाह के महबूब क़यामत तक नहीं बन सकते. So coming on the three rights, we don't have so much time. I'll give one example and then wrap it up for today. The first right is respect, reverence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How did our elders and forefathers and pious predecessors used to revere Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It is mentioned regarding Imam Malik rahimahullah, the great faqih of Medina. He got the title of Faqih al-Madina, the jurist of Medina. He was teaching hadith, and thousands of students used to sit in his one class. All of a sudden his face became pale. Then it returned back to the original color. Again after 2-3 minutes it became pale. Again it returned back to the original posture. Zard hota tha, phir theek ho jata tha. So after the period finished or the class ended, the students came forward and asked, "We never saw in your class what we saw today. So many times your face turned pale. What happened?" He said, "Pick up my kameez from the back. Pick up my shirt from the back." They picked it up, there was a scorpion on his back. And according to one narration, that scorpion had bit him 17 times on his back. Different locations. They took it off, killed it right away. And the students asked him, "Why didn't you call us before? Why did you have to bear it for so long?" Now listen to his answer. He said, to stop the reading of the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam before the time finishes, before the period ends, just because of my own pain and suffering, I consider it a disrespect of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. हदीस के पढ़ने को रोकना वक्त पूरा होने से पहले, मैं इसको आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की बेहतरामी समझता हूँ कि मैं अपनी तकलीफ की वजह से हदीस पढ़ रहा हूँ. Hadith, what is hadith? These are the words that came out from the blessed mouth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So as if we are listening and reading to his words. Though this is not a legal ruling, ये मसला नहीं है, but such level of respect and reverence was there that apparent disrespect also they took it as literal disrespect. ज़ाहिरी बेहतरामी को भी वो असल में बेहतरामी समझते थे. So this is how much should be the love and reverence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that me and you should have. So this is the first right. Second right is muhabba, love. Allah says, this is the hadith of Bukhari and Muslim, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "None of you will be a complete believer. तुम में से कोई कामिल ईमान वाला नहीं हो सकता, हत्ता अकून अहब्बा इलैहि, जब तक कि मैं उसको अपने वालिदैन से, अपनी औलाद से और सारी इंसानियत से ज़्यादा महबूब ना हो जाऊं." None of you will become a complete believer unless I become more beloved to him as compared to his parents, as compared to his children, and as compared to the entire humanity. So this is the level of love that is required. If me and you don't have that level of love, we will still be considered Muslims. Na'uzubillah, nobody is leaving the circle of Islam, but we cannot reach that higher level of Iman until the love is there. So that's why it said, जो उर्दू में कहा जाता है ना, जिसको आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की मोहब्बत नहीं नसीब हुई, उसको ईमान नहीं नसीब हुआ, उसका ये मतलब है. When we say that a person who does not have the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as if he has no faith. So this doesn't literally mean he doesn't have faith. This means he will not reach the highest level of Iman. he will not taste the sweetness of Iman. So this is the level of love. How much love did the Sahaba radiallahu anhum have for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We all know. Every once in a while we hear. In this country there is a saying, from rags to riches. And there are many examples that people give that how this person came from rag to riches. Keep this sentence in mind. Listen to what I'm sharing with you, and I'll again visit this sentence at the end. Musab ibn Umar radiallahu anhu was the most well-dressed youngster of Makkah Mukarramah. One suiting shirt and pant that he used to wear was worth 200 silver coins, 200 dirhams. Such heavy and expensive perfume he used to use in those days that whichever avenue or alley he would pass by, he would leave a trail. People coming a few minutes after him would know that such perfume is in the atmosphere. Musab ibn Umar would have passed from here. Such a very handsome youngster, meaning he was well off. He went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, accepted his da'wat, came home and told his mother. The mother became angry and stripped him of his clothes. Eventually he had to borrow some clothes to cover his body, because we all know how much torture and persecution Sahaba radiallahu anhum had to face just for accepting Islam. Then eventually he migrated to the first migration of Abyssinia, Habasha. He was in the migration of Medina Munawwara also, but his situation was not the same. He was the person who was carrying the flag of the Muslimin in the battle of Badr. He was the flag bearer in the battle of Uhud also. One day in Medina Munawwara, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting in Masjid al-Nabawi, and he passed by, and the clothing that he was wearing had patches, peban lage hue the. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam thought about his previous lifestyle and looked at his current lifestyle, and tears rolled down his eyes. He said this youngster was the most well-dressed, was the most handsome youngster in Makkah Mukarramah. Look at his situation today. When he was carrying the flag in the battle of Uhud, somebody cut his right hand. He didn't allow the flag to fall down, because in those days if the flag would fall down, this would be a sign that you have lost the battle. He right away took it in the left hand. Somebody cut his left hand, he held the flag from in between the chest. Somebody attacked him from the back, and the flag was about to fall, the other Sahabi picked it up. And when it was time for his burial, he didn't have 3 sheets of clothing as me and you have today. For kafan, he had only 1 sheet. And it was so small that if they would cover his head, the legs would be exposed, the feet would be exposed. If they would try to cover his feet, the head would be exposed. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, cover his head and place some leaves on the side of the feet. Look at his initial lifestyle, look at the end. So we started from this sentence, from rags to riches. This was an exact typical example of from riches to rags. Why did it happen? Because he followed the lifestyle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This level of love was there that he was ready to bear anything that comes his way. So Allah tests everyone. This is something in between, so none of you get confused. Allah doesn't test me and you more than our capacity. So don't get it wrong that we might end up also like this. No. It was their capacity that they were tested on such a high level. Me and you can never bear this, so Allah will never do this to us. Allah says in the Quran, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. किसी भी ज़ीरूह को उसकी इस्तेदाद से ज़्यादा अल्लाह पाक परखते हैं, इम्तिहान नहीं लेते, परखते नहीं हैं. Allah does not put the burden on any living being more than what he or she can bear. This is the standard of Allah in the Quran. So since they were on that standard, they were tested on that level. So this is the example of the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ittiba, complete obedience of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Usman bin Affan radiallahu anhu came as an ambassador. We all know the Sulh Hudaybiyah, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, when the Sahaba with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came from Medina to do Umrah in Makkah Mukarramah, they were stopped on the outskirts of Medina. If you enter, we will declare a war against you. The Kuffar of Makkah said, who told you to come? Who allowed you to come for Umrah? So eventually, they encamped at the area of Hudaybiyah, इसीलिए इसको सुलह Hudaybiyah कहा जाता है. It's known as the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. And Uthman bin Affan was made the ambassador of the Muslims. He entered Makkah in night time, took refuge in the house of his first cousin, Chachazad Bhai, and in the morning after Fajr they left their home to speak with the elders of Makkah who were sitting in the Mataf area. So now who is an ambassador? 30 seconds. An ambassador of the country, if the ambassador of the US goes in another country and commits a crime, the entire government cannot touch him. He's an untouchable. The maximum the government can do is declare him a persona non grata. This is what we call diplomatic immunity. So visualize Uthman radiallahu anhu as an ambassador of a Muslim nation, because Muslims are now a nation in Medina Munawwara. So when he was walking in the morning, his shalwar was like this, shin, half calf, halfway between the knee and the ankle. So his Chachazad Bhai, his first cousin, said, look at you. They won't even speak to you. They will think you are a beggar. You are a poor person. Because the more rich the person, this was the mentality of the Arabs and the culture of the Arabs. The more rich the person is, the more his clothes will be dragging on the floor. So lower your pants. You are an ambassador of the Muslim nation. What did Uthman radiallahu anhu say? هَكَذَا إِزَارَةُ صَاحِبِنَا رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. मैंने अपने आका सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की इज़ार मुबारक को इसी तरह पहने हुए देखा है. This is how I have seen the blessed pajama or the lower garment of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that it is until the shin. In certain cases it is mentioned Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would keep it until the shin, halfway between the knee and the ankle. Sometimes a little lower than that, but above the ankle. So he didn't care what people would say to him. He didn't care that people will call him a fundamentalist or people will mock at him, because so much zeal was there that this is how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam does. I have to follow him. So this is the following, the ittiba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So my respected elders and brothers, I'll wrap up with this. These are examples and these are ideals for us. Me and you might not reach this level, but at least this should be the target, that in our everyday lifestyle, we all go home today, sit for 2 minutes on our beds before going to sleep, and ask yourself, we can all gauge ourselves, we don't need to point fingers at others, that how much is our lifestyle near the lifestyle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our businesses, our living inside the house, our walking on the street, our dealing with the people, with the Muslims and the non-Muslims, our relatives, fulfilling the rights of the relatives, the way we dress, the way we act, how much lifestyle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there. And forgive me for saying this. It's easy to say, this is where we ended last time. It is easy to say for me that I love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if I claim standing here on the top of my lungs that I love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then Allah will question me on the day of judgment, what daleel, what evidence have you brought that you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because loving someone is a claim, and you need to have an evidence to support your claim. No court in the world will just go and accept your claim without evidence. You cannot dismiss a parking ticket also without an evidence. So imagine that you are claiming in front of the King of the universe that I love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What evidence? I'm not saying to you, I'm just giving you an example. I should go home and ask myself, do I have the evidence? Just to shout on the top of the lungs, forgive me, I'm not criticizing anyone. Just in the month of Rabiul Awwal, we say we love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do we have the support to support this claim? And the remaining 11 months we forget Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Claiming and shouting will not help us save us from Jahannam. It's the acting upon the lifestyle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will save us from the fire of Jahannam on the day of judgment. So don't get me wrong. We need to do some introspection every once in a while. Shaitan puts this in our mind कि बस ये दावे कर दो, यूं कह दो, इससे काम हो जाएगा. इससे काम नहीं होगा जब तक दलील हमारे हाथ में नहीं होगी. Whatever was said and heard, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of these things, inshallah. Ameen. We stand up and we start our sunnah, but before starting the sunnah, please fill in the gaps. If there are any gaps in the front row, inshallah, fill them up and then we start a niyyah. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين وقال تعالى قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم فرج هم المهمومين من المسلمين ونفس كرب المكروبين واقض الدين عن المدينين واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من البرص والجنون والجذام ومن سيء الأسقام. اللهم لا تقتلنا بغضبك ولا تهلكنا بعذابك وعافنا قبل ذلك. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.